Have you seen some items with sockets that normally shouldn't have that many sockets in the last couple of days? Or maybe sockets on items that shouldn't have sockets at all? Well, there's been quite a juicy unintended interaction that could be classified as a big bug, and by the end of this video, you'll understand all about it. Yo, what's up guys, Capmaster here with another video, this time about one of the craziest bugs or unintended interactions that we've seen in Path of Exile so far, and this is the reason why you guys have been seeing 6 links everywhere and sockets on gear that's not even supposed to have sockets. By now this has been completely fixed by Grinding Gear Games, and I believe most items that resulted from this have been deleted, and if there's still some out there, GGG will find them and delete them. But let's just start from the start how this all happened. I'm not sure whether we already have information whether this was implemented from the start of the league or actually only became possible through some change that was patched in later during the league. But 3.24 Necropolis League introduced the Bestiary Scarab of the Shadowed Crow, which guarantees the Black Morrigan if it contains Einhar. Now the Black Morrigan is a boss from Affliction League which was reintroduced as a unique beast. And now this unique beast also introduced new special beast crafts, augmented versions of previous beast crafts that we didn't have access to before. The culprit for everything we've seen here is the craft modify an item to have the maximum possible number of sockets, which requires the shield crab and the Black Morrigan. Now, we didn't know until some people found out in the league, and the news spread like a bushfire, right? That this actually ignored all kinds of limitations of sockets on items. Most importantly, the limitation that one-handed items can only ever have 3 sockets. This was limited to the size of the item on the grid, right? If an item didn't have at least 6 slots on the grid, it couldn't have 6 sockets. Daggers can still only have 3 sockets. Foils only have 4, and the small shields that are 2x2 can also only have 4 sockets. But anything that was at least 2x3 was able to be 6-socketed with this method. What was even crazier than this oversight was that items that have explicit or implicit modifiers limiting the amount of sockets the item could have also could now be 6-socketed with this new method, ignoring the rule that they couldn't have more than a certain number of sockets. Very notably, you guys probably have seen these 6-linked Calm's hearts. Now, I've not made one of these myself. I've been told for some weird reason, unique items that have explicit mods which restrict the number of sockets they can have, they needed to be unidentified in order to be able to override the maximum sockets, which did cause the price of unidentified Calm's hearts to massively skyrocket. Even though, let's be real guys, by any modern standards, this is not a good chest piece. I mean, this is just a vanity sort of item to have. But even with a 6th link, 500 life and up to 40% increased fire damage aren't all that much if you think about what kind of crazy influence modifiers you can have on chest pieces nowadays. Now, of course, we all wanted to know what are the limitations of this, and so many people started experimenting, and here we see community member Spicy Sushi create a 6-socketed ornate quiver with synthesis implicit. Which, I mean, this is absolutely crazy, right? The 6th link on a quiver. He then also went and tried the craft on an unset ring that had lost its sockets due to being synthesized with a synthesized implicit. And lo and behold, the ring did regain its socket, but retained the synthesis implicit, which obviously this is just crazy. And clearly not what GGG wants at all. People also found out that you can add another gem socket to a Stygian belt, because a Stygian belt has 2 slots in the inventory, but only 1 abyssal socket. And apparently it's coded as can have sockets in order to enable the abyssal sockets. It seems like this is an item that can have sockets, and apparently any item that can have sockets up to, I guess, 6 based on the number of slots it takes on the grid, right? So this was also a really funny one. And using items that have massive supports on them on the explicit mods, and that 6 linking on one-handed items that use 2x3 slots, combined with the Squire unique shield, people were able to create quite some juicy gem setups here with pretty much every single support gem imaginable that would affect this skill. I mean, check this out. This is like a what? This is a 4x4 plus 2. That's a 19 link. Absolute madness. And GGG, of course, reacted promptly and they fixed the recipe like 2 days ago. And now the recipe, of course, only works as intended. They did update the post. The invalid sockets on these items have now been removed. Any gems in the removed sockets are not recoverable. This is fine because they warned us before, right? I cannot show you the post that they initially had here, but it used to say, if you care about your gems, take them out of the sockets. We're gonna remove the invalid sockets. Some people were pretty upset by the change. I've seen this post shared by Val on the Twitter. Someone complaining about spending like 2 mirrors on 6 links on standard and then they were removed. And he's like, where's my mirrors now? PoE went into a BS game. Some implications that more or less out this guy as RMT. I hope that someone's investigating into that. But all in all, I think this was a pretty game-breaking bug, and it's super important that GGG did act here. I think it took a little bit too long, maybe. But the important thing is everything is restored and everything has been removed. Unfortunate, of course, for those who did think they could make a quick buck here or like secure themselves a future legacy item that will forever gain value. For anyone who's been playing games for a meaningful amount of time, they probably knew that this was going too far and it was going to be removed. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below whether you think this was fair to do, whether they should have just left it in for the rest of the league. Probably not, but hey, I mean, whatever you think, let me know down below. I'll see you in the next video and thank you for all your support.